Hey everyone, it is Elton932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. We are continuing our journey with Love is Blind Germany. We have stamps on our passport, so if you like it here, several of you have. I appreciate the like. When we're complete with Germany, see the other stamps we have in our passports. Here we go to episode 6. Y'all, Germany is delivering. Germany is giving me everything I have been asking for and more. And more. So let's go with it. Alina and Elias. She says she feels stuck because Elias is holding on for Hanny. Alina, you answering your own questions, girl. Why are you here? Why are you not on the flight back with Sheila? Elias says he is honestly happy with her and it feels right. Not the case for him to want to get to know Hanny more. Why am I not believing? Then Elias tells Alina she is making it a bigger issue because it's not a big deal in his mind. Y'all better hold me back from Elias. Y'all better hold me back from him. Elias, you just said in the previous episode you can't get Hanny out your mind. You told us that you were lying about stuff. You told us that you were thinking about what if Hanny was on this date with you instead of Alina. Do not mess with me and our intelligence about it's not a big deal in your mind. You done told us the story, and I'm glad the producers captured it. You're the same man that can't even look at Hanny in the eyes because of how you feel it. But it's not a big deal in your mind? If it's not a big deal, you wouldn't be feeling shooketh whenever you see Hanny. And every time you talk about Hanny, you tell us that you are shooketh. So please, you were saying please don't lie to us now. Please, you were saying, oh, you told all these truth things, talking about truth, and now you feel you can't lie. This is your biggest lie. This is your biggest lie, Elias. This is your biggest lie. It's not a big deal in your mind? Ladies, put it in the comments. Have you been here? Have you been where Alina is, where your insides and intuition are telling you something is going on? He is telling his friends something is going on. But he's telling you it's not a big deal in his mind. Not a big deal. You're making a big deal. But you know what he gets Alina to do? To agree with him. To hug up and love up with him on the sofa. Elias, you're becoming my villain. We see Daniel and Hanny. They're playing tennis. It is his first time playing tennis. Daniel, if you didn't say that, I wouldn't have believed you. I would not have believed that this is Daniel's first time playing tennis. I mean, he had some bad form and stuff, but he's athletic. Let's put it that way. So she wins, and she tells him, get used to losing. Daniel's like, he won her heart. Daniel, you've been giving me zingers, one-liners. Production has been showing it, and I am loving it. Yeah. You can win his tennis match. You can win every single match out here. But guess what? I won the jackpot. I won your heart. Way to go, Daniel. My silent claps. Silent claps so you can still hear me. Way to go, Daniel. But he said he could be a little gentler with her. He was hitting them tennis balls like it was whack-a-mole. And he said she could be gentler too. Hanny, come on now. He said you could be gentler. She said, but let's see how I feel. Maybe. And we realize, and she tells us what's happening. She says some people need space to regroup and get it back together. But not Daniel. He wants to be like up under her. And I know this is Germany, but I am reminded by my Latino friends, Inchula. Daniel wants to be all up on Hanny, and many of us know or have been the person that wants to be all up under our significant other. But there's some people that I need to miss you. I need you to remove yourself for a couple of hours so I could kind of decompress. It's too much. And I think that's Hanny. But Daniel's like, tell me when you need space. I'll go read a book. I'll go do something. Tell me it's an hour, 2 hours. Tell me come back. But Hanny said also there's no variety. There's no variety in stuff. Hanny, y'all just met. Y'all are in Greece. You're lucky the variety is the breakfast you're having every morning. I'm sorry. But she does acknowledge that she does not wish to push him away, which is a good thing. Alina and Elias. Elias says that Alina handled it exactly how he wanted someone to handle it. It was the most harmonious argument. You're playing her. You're telling her that you don't ever want her to be angry again in the future. You're telling her to keep you. She cannot get angry. You're playing her. And that is what's getting me madder by the minute, Elias. You are playing Alina. And Alina goes along with it. She said, hey, the true test of a couple and knowing is that when they're in bad times, how they handle things. I understand that, Alina, but your man is not being honest. The foundation in which you want to stand this relationship on, Alina, is shaky. Elias said he made it clear that everything with her is beautiful, but you ain't made it clear that the door with Hanny is shut. Of course it can be beautiful here. It's beautiful over there too. Selena said the Hanny issue is on her mind, but it's less intense. I'm glad you didn't put it away. I'm glad you did not put it away. Because it's still in his mind. Still in his mind. So, the couples leave Greece. The couples leave Greece and move in together. Now, in previous seasons and previous demographics and countries, the host and hostess would usually meet them at their, vacation location, tell them what to expect, what's happening. But this couple, who's the host, they just do a backdrop of Greece and they talk and tell us about it. But I guess since it's less couples, because Pascal and Sheila done left. Pascal and Sheila done left. And Tolga and Sheila done left. So they're like, what are we doing this for? For 3 couples. So we have Alina and Elias. Alina tells us she can't do laundry. Okay. Alina, who does your laundry? Because you got to have clean clothes. Alina, who does your laundry? Because somebody got to. I don't understand the concept of don't know how to do laundry. And I'm not going to make it a girl versus boy thing and knowing laundry. I have sons, and at 10 years old, they knew how to do their own laundry. I won't play that. You gonna have clean clothes, and you gonna know how to make it clean. Elias says, well, then she gonna have to cook. He'll do dishes. He doesn't enjoy cleaning, but he'll do it. I'd like you to clean up this whole Hanny issue. How about that? So then we see Marcel and Jen. They meditate together. Jen says she's used to doing meditation by herself because it's very intimate. And it can be, Jen. Some people may brush it off what you just said, but it can be. I can see that. You are opening yourself up and you're getting into a very calm state and you just open. So it can be very intimate with a partner. Now, y'all, Marcel was talking to her meditating. Marcel's voice, I don't know what it is. It's not a German accent, it's the voice. When he was telling her, and breathe deep. Oh, Marcel. And breathe deep. Take it all in. Marcel, you would have a good ACMR videos. Oh my gosh, Marcel. I'd listen to you. So Jen says she likes that he's passionate about meditation. She may not do this intently, but it's great to see him in his element. I'm wonderful to see, Jen, that you appreciate him in here. But then Marcel tells him, hey, he does this for 10 days. He goes to that retreat. Not only does he go to retreat for meditating, y'all, they say nothing. Zip. For 10 days even. He's gone without saying a word for 10 days. And all Jen could say is, I can't wait to know which concert we're going to go to. Concerts allowed. Jen, you're throwing rice. You're throwing stones. Calm it down. Pump the brakes, Jen. You are self-sabotaging at this point. So let's go back to Marcel. 10 days without a word, y'all. I can go a few hours without a word because I love, like Hanny, I like a little quiet time to myself. I want to read and I want it to be quiet. When noise starts to come in from just everybody waking up in the household, it kind of irritates me a bit at first, and then I adjust. But Marcel doesn't say a word but 10 days. How many of us could go without saying a word for an hour? Put it in the comments. How many of y'all can go for an hour without saying a word? I could go for 2. I could go for probably a little bit more. But ain't no 10 days. I got to speak to somebody. I got to know that civilization is out there. I got to know that the meditating person over here is feeling the vibes that I'm feeling. Marcel, you a real one. I know there are tons of Marcels out there, but again, Marcel, I appreciate you coming on the show. 10 days, y'all. I want to know how many people have been on a retreat like that, like he's talking. Is this usual, or is he choosing not to speak for 10 days? And you can still meditate as a regular person for the 10 days, but still talk and say, hey, can I get some gravy with them potatoes when it's time to eat? I'm just asking. We see Daniel and Hanny. She tells him when they move in that he can have just those 2 drawers in that cabinet in, a closet. They have a closet thing. He can have 2 drawers. And I thought at first the drawers were cute because it was glass, see-through glass on the front. But then I was like, damn, when I decide to throw clothes in, you're going to see that it ain't organized. I don't like that. She takes all the hangers. There were a few. Granted, that was 2 little hangers. It's like somebody just put 10 hangers and let's see how the couples fight over 10 hangers. So she just decides to take his hangers. And then she decides to show him her small clothing, a little corset. And he's telling a little, leotard thing. I don't even know. And he's like, what is this? How does this fit? And I'm thinking the same thing, Daniel. Don't feel away. And he's telling her, well, how does this go on? How does this fit? He's like, my arm or my leg can't even fit in this. But Henny's not amused. She gets snippy. Why is he saying this? Why is he doing this? Now, y'all, he may not have experienced this, but he never said she can't wear this. He never said, why are you wearing this? He just asked, how do you wear this? Because in Daniel's mind, Daniel's my favorite. In Daniel's mind, I want to see you in this. So I ain't going to ruin a chance for you to put this on for me. So I'm going to ask, wait a minute, babe, how you get into this? Because Daniel probably thinking, how do I get you out of it? You ain't playing me, Daniel. You ain't playing me. So he changes to compliments and telling her how beautiful she is and everything, but she's not having it. It doesn't go over well. She is just like, yeah, whatever. So they didn't end their unpacking very well. Next, we see Medina and Sally. Okay, we see Medina sitting in a coffee shop. Let me tell y'all, if y'all in Germany know that coffee shop, please tell me where. That coffee shop looked very eclectic in my vibe. If y'all know that coffee shop, put the name down in the comments, please. Sorry, Marcel, I can't be silent and meditating, but I'll hang out there. So Sally comes in, we see her walk in. Sally is looking amazing. Y'all, the melanin is popping. Whew, I'm getting goosebumps for my peoples. So Sally says there was a misunderstanding and miscommunication of how she felt. For all of y'all out there that was carrying on about Marcel, talking about his preferences and stuff, talking about how he giggling and laughing, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. So Sally continues to say, in the pods, he was loud and he never had a loss for words. and he was always laughing. He says yes, but when he laughed at the reveal, it's always like when he's nervous or when he's crazy happy. He's like, you were not a little insecure. He didn't say it maliciously, just said, hey, you're a little insecure by it. He understands. He understands. Sally says she could not recognize or feel or make the connection with Reveal Medina and Pod Medina. The Medina in front of her was quiet and looking at her, and all she heard was the boisterous laughter. She didn't get the life Medina, but she didn't mean to make him feel insecure. She did not mean to make him feel like he had to cover up with laughter. But she sees something in him and their connection. She has never had such a strong connection with someone so soon. Y'all, let's digest this. Let's do a Marcel and take a moment and digest this. What happened to Sally, I understand. What happened with Sally, I understand. She's used to Medina. What did he say? He has a birthday marathon. She's used to that Medina. But then when she saw him and he saw her, she got quiet, laughing Medina. And that did not compute for her. So it told her he don't like what he sees. It told her he's not being himself. It told her run. And I understand it. Medina, on the other side, is looking and observing because, again, we always say men are visual. He sees Sally. He sees a beauty. He sees the beauty there. But he's also wondering, what does Sally see when she looks at him? Medina is looking because he told us about that friend zone. I told y'all in my previous recap. It wasn't Medina's preferences. She wasn't what he wanted to look at. Medina is a heavier set guy. And what happened to him is women look at him, some women look at him, and he is not the Fabio. Not Fabio the show. I'm talking about, he's not a heartthrob. He's not a handsome man that the woman gravitate to. He's probably used to rejection. As he said, he used to friend zone, so he probably used to rejection. So Medina is looking at Sally and expecting the rejection to come. So he is bracing himself for that rejection, either by word or by look. And embracing himself for that rejection, he is, ha ha ha, keep it light, keep myself happy, keep myself joyous. Yet, that does not respond well with Sally. Sally sees the laughter as being directed at her rather than his internal protection. So we see the miscommunication. But you know what I appreciate with Sally? Sally went back and Sally thought about it and she said there was a misunderstanding and miscommunication. Remember, y'all, this is an edited, translated show. These are the words I received from the English translation. There was a misunderstanding and a miscommunication. And Sally is wise enough to say, hey, let's discuss what happened on that reveal. She showed up. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. I liked you in the pods. We were cool until we saw what happened in this moment. What happened for you? What happened to me? And Sally is like, we misunderstood each other and we miscommunicated. So you know what they did? They said, what happens next? And the cameraman pans to her hand. And Sally tells us she is still wearing the engagement ring. Y'all, this is why I had to see, or we had to see Sally crying in the back. But y'all, I don't appreciate y'all showing Sally crying in the back. Y'all, I still don't appreciate that. Y'all could have just told Medina she left. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on, we did not need to see Sally bawling to know she left. Y'all didn't do that on previous international shows. But I digress. So Sally says, I am still wearing the engagement ring. Mm-mm-mm. She doesn't know how he's feeling, but she asks, is he willing to move in with her in the apartments? Sally appreciated that. And I'm sure Medina did. I'm speaking for him. I ain't his sister. I ain't nobody. I don't know him. But I appreciate it. I'm sure he did too. Because I'm sure Sally came there thinking, not only she cried, she ran away without even talking to this man. What could he possibly be thinking of her reaction to him? While she heard his laugh and she had a reaction, she probably said, my actions could have hurt this man. But she's not willing to let go of it. She's like, hey, what about moving in together? He puts his hand out, he takes her hand, and he says, yeah, let's move in together. And she reaches up to show him that she will welcome a kiss from him. And they lighten it up with laughter. Medina got his laughter in, and I think, yes, he's still nervous. I think he still don't know what's going on. But I think now his laughter no longer, how can I say it, no longer works her nerves, no longer puts her in a place of insecurity. That's better. No longer puts her in a place of insecurity. It no longer is a miscommunication when he laughs. So I will ask y'all not to tell me that, to say out, not to tell me I was right. From my previous recap, don't tell me I'm right. Would you give this another chance? Would you be Sally and give this another chance? Would you go to the coffee shop wearing the engagement ring and talking to Medina and ask him to move in and give this another chance? Would you do that? Put it in the comments below. Put it in the comments below. Would you be Medina and take Sally back, considering she ran from you? Would you do that? I'm not a second chance person, but this is a different show. I probably would in this instance because it is a miscommunication. But if you're out in the real world, shoot, one strike and you out. Let's move on. Alina and Elias. Jeez Louise. He again references intimacy and sleeping together. Because he can't get out of bed right now. She brought him tea in the bed, tried to wake him up, but he can't get out of bed right now because Elias has risen. Okay? The adults in the room, you understand what I'm saying when it's morning time and Elias has risen. They cuddle in the bed. Elias says everything is great and lovely, but he can't get Hanny out of his head. Again, you're saying Hanny ain't out of your head, but you're telling Alina it's not a big deal. It ain't in your head all the time. You're lying. Elias says he thought about having intimacy with Alina to change things. See if it would change things and get Hanny out of your mind, maybe. But he said, what if it didn't change anything for him? It may have changed things for the better with Alina. You got some nerve. But it would have made things worse for him if he still couldn't get Hanny out of his mind. Now that is the only grace I give you, Elias. The only grace I will give you, that you did not go sleeping with Alina to erase Hanny from your mind. That's the only grace. But Hanny is still in your mind and that door ain't shut. He does not want to discuss this with Alina because it may ruin what they have. But she was making it too much in her head. She's making it too much in her head. But you want to discuss it with her. It's in your head. You are making it a lot in your head. That's why it's in her head. She's feeling it. She is feeling it, Elias. And you are lying to her. I'm sorry, y'all. Elias is just rubbing me the wrong way with this. Hanny and Daniel, he's making breakfast. She doesn't want garlic in her omelet. I'm with you, Hanny. I'm with you. I want garlic in my omelet. But he just wants her to give it a try. He's cooking. He's like, just try it. Just have breakfast. Dan says, do you have something to say about everything? He's doing this. He's doing this. It's like, it's done. It's done. It's like, she's like, I like to tease and I like to be teased back. Not yesterday, Hanny. When he was saying, how do you put this on? It can't even fit on my leg or my arm. You didn't like that teasing. See, people who like to tease sometimes can't take it. So he's cooking and she's telling him, oh, it's ready, it's ready. She's standing there by the stove with him. It's ready. It boils me. There's a personal preference. It boils me. Boils my blood when I am cooking and someone else wants to roll up and tell me how to cook. I'm cooking for you. Just sit down. I'll bring you a plate. Just sit down. Don't tell me it's ready. Don't tell me what to put in it and what not. Go sit down. Let me cook. Eat it. If you don't like something about it, tell me. But don't be standing over me. Too many chefs in the kitchen. Don't stand over me. But he takes her opinion, really hard, Hanny says. Yeah, because if we cooking, we just cooking. He says the way you're communicating, this teasing, this little pokes, is not a good way to communicate. Things can escalate because of the situation. And he's right, because it escalated yesterday for her when you talked about her clothing. But she's not recognizing that now. Next is Medina and Sally move in. She's never lived with a partner, y'all. This is going to be interesting. Sally has never lived with a partner. She says she's fussy and she's not compromising. I guess she's only lived with her dad and her brother, she said. She said no shoes on the bed. They got shoes in the house. Pet peeve of mine. If we get into all my pet peeves, or a lot. They lay on the bed, but the shoes is bucked up on the side of the bed. No, Sally. You should have said no shoes from the door. No shoes from the door. Sorry. That whole scooting, laying on the bed and your foot on the side of the bed. The shoe is on the side of the bed. It's getting on the blanket. Anyway, Sally says, they will have no problems if he follows her rules. Tell him, Sally. Tell him. Tell him. So, while they're cooking, and he reaches for the garlic, asking her how many she needs, she's like, oh, about 3 pieces. He's like, 3 pieces? That's a lot. She's like, unless you plan to kiss me later. He's like, okay, make it 5. And they joke and laughed a lot in this kitchen scene, and I love to see it. It was really, really good. It was real fun. Real fun. Hanny and Daniel, they're in the boxing ring. Hanny says, they did not get into a big argument, so she likes that he won't let things escalate. So I guess Daniel's like, yeah, she on fire. She got a little aggression. Let's get it out in a positive way, in a little, boxing thing. Marcel, we meet his 2 roommates, Janine and Sarah. Put it in the comments, ladies. And if you're from Germany, let me know, is it common for a man to have female roommates? Here in the US, it'll be a red flag. Here in the US, we will be like asking, is one of these your ex? How do you know these ladies? Is it all platonic? Jen, we will have to see how he moves with these ladies. But it seemed like very respectful. It seems like they're all friends. Nothing jumped out at me that they're looking daggers at Jen. Not at all. Not at all. They said, have you seen quirks that you cannot stand with each other? Now, Jen says something that he redips the spoon in the Nutella jar. Jen, I'm with you. So he dips, he eats, and then he puts the spoon back in the whole thing. She says, because you're closing up the jar with all the germs that you left on the spoon. He's like, germs? Yes. So your whole holistic nature thing, I understand, but let's do the holistic clean part too. Jen says living in shared accommodation is not her thing and it's not ideal for marriage. I'm with you, Jen, except some cultures, they do share with family. Now that I will give maybe a 10, 20% leeway with. But I understand Jen. Janine says, when Jen asks, hey, how is he as a roommate? Jen, you're asking good questions. Janine said he's either in a good mood or lost in his own world or is silent. Let's say that again. He's either in a good mood, where we have seen that of Marcel, lost in his own world, or goes silent. Now we know what the silence is. If he can go 10 days straight silent, then he can have moments in the day where he is just silent. So that should tell you, Jen, that his silence is who he is. His roommates see it. Sarah, the other roommate, says, or you have to wait a few minutes for him to come around and answer you. He will process things a lot before speaking. Now, I have known people like Marcel. And for someone like Jen, like she says, she is quick. She is quick with it, quick with her responses. So you waiting means like you probably dismissed them. You're probably not coming back with an answer. And their mind is already gone on something else. And here you come like the snail. Like now you're coming to answer. And they're like, I'm over that topic. But now, Jen, you're with him. You have to leave room for that. He may take half a day before he comes back to it and gives you a response. But what I appreciate with that is he will give you his true response. It won't be just quick. He will think about it and come and give you an answer later on. My grandfather was like this, y'all. So that's why I can understand with Marcel, and I'm not insulted by it. It is frustrating. It is frustrating when you're like, answer me. It's like, no, no, no. I will answer in my due time, but I will give you an answer. And that's where Marcel has to get with people in his life. It's like, hey, I'm going to take some time to answer this. Well, please remember that I need some time. Okay? So they're telling her she's got to be patient and very patient with him since he's like this. So they go to his room. He's a minimalist, y'all. And I got some photos, and I'm hopefully going to put it on here so y'all can see his room because it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Marcel, the bed could have been made before the camera crew, smooth out the sheet. Okay. He has plants by the door. He has plants hanging from the wall, but it's not a jungle. It's tastefully done. He has short, plants. He has books look like they're floating on the walls. And he has a big table where books are the legs. And I wonder if he just cut the legs off and just placed the table on the legs. Does he sit there and meditate? Because it seems like a big place where he can, crisscross apples. So I have questions about the room. I'm hoping y'all seeing pictures. But, the table with books for the legs, I'm wondering, dang, does he read any of those books anymore? I mean, what happens when you got to pull a book out? You got to find one of equal width to put back in to keep the table steady. But Jen said she didn't discover anything new about him with this visit to his room. And so she feels he's being authentic. So then we have Alina and Elias. She bought him some pants, and he said he doesn't like it. But he said it gently. He doesn't like it because they're sweatpants material. They look like trousers, y'all. They look like dress pants, but they're made out of the fabric of like sweatpants. Those are probably comfy. Alina, if he don't appreciate it, I'm gonna need about 5 sizes larger than that. But I would appreciate that. So Alina is curious to see Hanny and how he feels about it. He said it hasn't been on his mind and everything is great. And he will tell her if anything changes. Lies. Lie, 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 Elias. It has been changing. It has been changing. Because you are constantly telling production, you are picturing if Hanny was here instead of Alina. But let's move on. We got stuff to talk about because this is gonna be a long one, y'all. We got the couples mixer because all the old crew is coming back together. Elias turns red when Hanny walks in. Now, Hanny, you know what you were doing, girl. You knew what you were doing. She came into a lace catsuit with like black underwear under it, looking good. Daniel was looking fire next to her too. Beautiful couple. So Elias says every time he sees Hanny, all the feelings keep coming back. He feels like crap and now don't know what to do. Tolga walks in. Tolga says it's tough being back in reality. He does not regret his decision and he hopes that Hannah comes. Shella walks in. Shella says she would have given it another try. Pascal didn't want to, and it's not better now, but she had other intentions when she came into the show. Fabio walks in. Fabio goes and he hugs Shella. He's like, "You must be Shella." He said, "Wait a minute, Pascal's missing." But he's hoping Alberta comes. He more like is, and they call her Abba or Alba. I think they call her Alba. So he look at Alba coming. Then we hear the song "Leader of the Pack." Leader of the pack, and in walks Alberta. Alberta, they picked the right song for you, but it's a fair song for you to walk in. Your Fabio's eyes light up. It lights up when Alberta walked in. The girls all rush her at the door and hug her. She goes to shake Fabio's hand, and he's like, we too close than that, girl. Come in for a hug. He's like, we shit more than this. You gonna just shake my hand? I mean, golly, girl, we dated for 10 days. So she takes a drink to the table, and Hanny says he's sweet. He's a good match for you. Hanny is playing matchmaker, y'all. So Tolga asks Fabio, what's going on? What's good? Why are you staying over there at that table? If you want to go talk to the girl, go talk to the girl. I like Tolga. Tolga's like, go handle the business. Don't looking at her. Just go. Talk to her. It's a Casanova side, but with good intentions. So Alberta and Fabio do go sit. So he says, hey, let's cut to the chase. He regrets his decision. He regrets his decision, and he later realized that she's the right one for him. And what has he done? Since he left, she is all he thinks of. Alberta says, hey, I asked you if we could ever get to the point you and Shella were, and you said no. Alberta, bring the receipts, girl. Bring it. And production did too, because they showed us the clip. Fabio said, yes, he had feelings for both of them. He made the wrong choice, and he wants her. Alberta's like, yeah, because you have no other choice. You don't have any options. I love that Alberta is not just taking him back. I love that she is pushing back. She's pushing back. And we saw that when he tried to say, you're the youngest one here. Why are you here? And she's like, you ain't the youngest one. Why are you here? I love the pushback, Alberta. Girl, I hope it doesn't harden your heart what happened with Fabio. But I'm glad you're not just taking stuff from him. So when she says you ain't got no other choice, he's like, no, that's not it. She's like, hey, I am not a fallback option. It was good to talk to you, though. He's like, whoa, you going now? You leaving now? She's like, yeah, I'm going back to my girls. Alberta walked off and went back to the ladies' table. Fabio was a gag. He was, what happened? She just went, bye. She just walked right over to the girls. Now, y'all, I'm going to ask you, was this the right choice? Should she have taken the chance and taken him back, like we just saw Sally with Medina? Should she have taken him back and go to Zach and Bliss route and say, hey, I made a mistake. I would like to give this a chance and let's move in together. Should she have done that? Put your note in the comment. I say no. I say she shouldn't. I think this was the right temperature, right moment, right everything. Always leave them wanting for more. I'm sorry. It may not be healthy, but some people, yes, the second time around could. But you just told her, Fabio, in the pods, you thought you were falling in love with someone else. And that hurts deep. And there's hardly ever coming back from that. But granted, it is 10 days. It's a different experience. It is very different. But to tell someone that you're falling in love with someone else, that usually is a recipe for don't even come back here again. So Tolga says he wants to talk to Hannah. He just wants to see Hannah. Would she talk to him? And while he is talking, Hannah walks in. He says his heart is pounding, but his eyes light up. He is smiling and almost grinning, y'all. Tolga is watching Hannah. Tolga, ooh, this Hannah? Hannah says she thought she'd be seeing Sheila and Tolga together. Because remember, nobody even told her. I wonder if they got their phones back. Because clearly Hanny would have told her girl Hannah what it was. So, they go talk. I love it. They go talk. Hannah asked him, where's Sheila? And he's like, we broke up in Greece. It was mutual. The feelings were no longer there. Hannah says she was worried about seeing him, and if he chose another person, that means she's not the match for him. He's like, not true. Just that Sheila showed more interest. Oh, so Tolga, you like to be chased. You want the woman to be chased after you. So Hannah equally says, is this about your ego? She's like, you're smiling, so I'm right. She's like, so she had a bigger crush on you, so you liked her better. He's like, no, don't look at me like that. You make me feel like a kid. He is blushing, y'all. Hannah got him by the cojones. Sorry for using Spanish as a German show. I don't know. Hannah has got Tolga against the ropes. He says, I feel bad. I feel ashamed. Oh, my God, don't look at me like that. She's like, I didn't think you'd be so shy. He says he doesn't like talking about his feelings and it's the whole masculinity thing. And she's like, I like that Hannah's not a pushover. Hannah is not letting Tolga just walk in and walk to her. So Tolga says, do I look how you thought? She's like, yeah, but I thought you'd have normal eyes. He's like, ooh, I have nice eyes. She's like, I am not going to compliment you. Tell him, Hannah. Tell him. She says, I am not going to make your ego grow. He says, is it enough, by how I look? So then she asks, am I enough and how I look? He says, yes, it's enough. He looks smitten, y'all. And I love it. I was scared. Because Hannah is a very voluptuous young lady. Beautiful and voluptuous. And I was wondering, Tolga, how do you go for the Hannies of the world? Or the, other ladies? Or is Hannah your type? And girls, it seems Tolga is smitten because it seems Hannah is his type. But Hannah giving him a bite back that she wasn't given in the pods. Except for the last time when he tried to say, I'm going to roll back on you, if he was still with Sheila after the whole thing. So Tolga says he has feelings and he would like to get to know her. Hannah tells us she almost didn't come. But she says, yes, she would like to get to know him. Y'all, I hope they move in together, but I doubt it. I would like to know. If y'all know, I don't follow these people in social media. If y'all know what's happening with Hannah and Tolga, let me know, please. So the ladies are talking together, and Alina says she thinks she's falling, in love, and he said that he likes her. And Hannah is like, I tell it to my mother, Hanny. He's like, so is this nice or was Hanny being instigated? Put it in the comments, please. Was this nice or instigating? Okay? So, we see Hanny is going back to talk to Elias. He tells her he cannot get her out of his head, and he is going to get clarity. He says he's nervous, but they cannot say they're just friends. And how does she see it? Alina doesn't like that they went and sat together again. She's standing there with Jen. Jen said, hey, there's no deep connection. It's probably just curiosity. And Alina said, if someone is not 100% into her, there is no point. She is not amused and everything has a limit and she has reached it. And that is the end of episode 6, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. It's a long recap and I hope you'll join me for episode 7 because the heat turns up again on episode 7. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll cut this off now because Alina has reached her limit and so have I. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.